music for the podcast. We don't actually have any theme music, so someone will probably make one up for us. I don't want to name any. Rachel. I hope it's Rachel that does that for the podcast.
The day that doesn't make me laugh is the day I just want you to end my suffering.
We're just quitting the podcast.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Tiny Room for episode 21 of Micheal and Benjamin's podcast. I'm Michael, back in the Tiny Room with my unusually unbespectacled co-host, Benjamin. Hello, Ben.
I'm wearing contacts today.
Do you wear glasses?
I do, on occasion.
Do you?
Yes, when I'm very tired.
Are you wearing contacts?
I'm wearing contacts as we speak.
Stick your finger in your eye and move them around a bit. That's inconclusive.
Okay.
I can't really see.
Sorry. Well, I did it. Or at least I hope so. Either that or my eyeballs are very, very numb.
Ben, we've had a tweet.
Oh!
We've had a tweet from a Cassie Sandsmark. Her Twitter handle is
It's quite a name.
Yes.
It sounds like a young adult fiction heroine.
Well, kind of is.
Okay.
Her Twitter handle is @WonderGirl.
Oh.
And she said, "Hey guys, did you know that I'm Wonder Woman's niece?" That's genius. That's one of the best So
we've had a tweet from the Wonder Girl
yeah.
of DC Comics, Teen Titans fame.
Yes.
I see.
And she's Wonder Woman's niece.
Do you know what? I'm actually slightly happy that I didn't know her name when you said Cassie Sandsmark.
Yeah,
I'm really glad, because I would have been a much bigger loser if I had said, "Oh!"
Yeah. Do you see where this is going? This is one of the best segues we've ever done on the show.
Is it?
Yeah.
Really?
So she's Wonder Woman's niece. So then I suppose that she has an anti-hero. That's brilliant. That's one of the best gags we've ever had. Ben, we're talking about anti-heroes. Let's hold on. We have to move the table. This thing is shaking. Just move over this way. Sorry, everybody.
Oh wow!
Amateur podcast day.
Wow.
Yeah, anti-heroes. Anti-heroes are a thing.
I will never get over the level of disrespect we've just shown to our listenership.
Yeah, look at those waves.
Oh man, I may actually have to do a little bit of tinkering today and lower that so no one dies.
Leave it alone. It's fine.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anti-heroes.
Today we're talking about anti-heroes.
Do you see what I've done?
I see what you've done, because familially speaking,
Yeah.
she would be her anti-hero. Yeah.
It's great, isn't it?
You've somewhat misled the listenership, though. I mean, that's not really a standard definition of what an anti-hero is.
No.
Then again, there is no real standard definition for what an anti-hero is.
Are you doing the bit now? Or are you setting...
No, I'm just
well, tell us.
Wander around.
Why are we talking about anti-heroes?
Well, there was some good news or some bad news, depending on your feelings towards a certain early 2000s television series. How do you feel about Lost, Mick?
Lost.
Lost.
Fucking dreadful. Well, the first season was very good, but I've come to realise that it's very easy to make something very good by setting up mysteries that you have no intention of ever solving.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah, because they're the best mysteries.
For example, what happened to Coach Clive?
Oh, he's coming back.
You see...
Sorry, he had twins. Well, his lady partner had twins.
We're supposed to.
He has 3 children now. Are we revealing
listenership by having a mystery?
Oh, you were doing a bit.
We were going to do
the listeners won't be able to hear you whispering like that.
They might be.
I don't think so.
They might be. It's mysterious.
Tweet us, listeners, if you can hear Ben's mysterious voice.
It's my mysterious voice.
What are we talking about? Yeah, it's very easy to set up intriguing mysteries when you just do things that don't make any sense.
That's true.
I mean, I just watched the finale of Twin Peaks.
And?
Amazing.
Oh, excellent. Good.
The whole series.
Thank God. I would be so disappointed on your behalf if Twin Peaks let you down.
The whole series was great. But they did a thing. I don't know if you were a Twin Peaks fan, but 25 years ago, it wasn't 25 years ago. Oh, it was.
I think
25 years ago when it ended.
I think it was.
It ended on a cliffhanger.
Dun, 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 dun,
right?
dun. Yeah.
And they probably did have an intention of solving that mystery, but they didn't at the time. And this year, 25 years later, they solved that cliffhanger.
No.
And
That's pretty good.
yeah, so they solved the cliffhanger. Well, the whole series is about solving the cliffhanger, but then the whole final episode is basically about setting up a new cliffhanger,
Oh, deadly.
which may well never be solved because they don't intend to do another series.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. David Lynch, you crafty so-and-so.
But you see, when
Is he involved in it?
he
must be.
yeah, he involved in writing every episode, produced
cool.
it.
That's
He stars in it.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, he's in every episode. He directed every episode.
Deadly. I wasn't sure if it was one of those things where they had the property, so...
No, it's a one-man show. Why were we talking about Lost?
Well, how do you feel about HBO's The Leftovers?
Never heard of it.
Exactly. Quite a common trope when it comes to that show. Both were produced by a particular man. That man's name is Damon Lindelof.
Oh, he's a real bad egg.
He does write some subpar series. And seems to keep getting gigs, especially where HBO is concerned, because they've just greenlit an adaptation of Watchmen
Why though?
by Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons.
I know what Watchmen is. Sorry.
People didn't know.
But Ben,
Michael.
Ben, hold on a second.
I'm sorry, I'm a little bit mentally scarred right now.
There was a film of the Watchmen.
There was by
2000?
by Ben's best friend, Zack Schneider.
Yeah. I like Watchmen. It's a good film. 2000. Look, there's Silk Spectre.
She's
There's
up there on the wall.
Night Owl.
So they are. They're both very present.
Yeah.
Zack Schneider was supposed to do this for HBO.
They were going to get the same guy.
They're
What?
with the same guy. They like the way he did it. They like his attention to detail.
Are they going to do the same story or a new story?
They're going to do the same story. It will be based on the comics.
But the movie was based on the comics.
I know, but
It
I
was
don't
like
think they care.
shot for shot.
I think they're going to do... I think it's going to be a 12-parter.
Ugh.
I think. But it's been greenlit for a pilot episode. That doesn't mean... Look, they're going through a bunch of properties. American Gods was a big hit. It shouldn't have been a big hit. It was a very out there adaptation. They're looking for stuff to adapt that isn't a big hit. Sandman is only a matter of time.
And budget.
And budget.
And saga.
Saga's coming. Like, they're going to start going through all these little obscure pop culture hits. Well, no, not that Watchmen was obscure. It was quite huge.
Yeah.
But
and saga.
you know what I mean when I say,
Sandman.
yeah, alternative culture hits.
Right.
If we want to do it that way. Although alternative... I'm not getting into it. Yeah, so he's going to
Why
be...
do you have to put labels on everything,
He's
Ben?
going to be... I'm a labels guy. I like things in their boxes. He's going to be producing and, I think, directing
Why though?
the first episode, the pilot.
But that's one of the most pointless things I've ever heard.
And I remember thinking to myself, well, it's good synergy, because right now DC is...
Oh no, wait,
that's scissoring. Mick just did a very strange motion with his index and middle finger
It's an Alan Partridge
on
thing.
both hands. I know what it is, but that's scissoring that lesbians do. Not synergy. That's a different thing. Because DC is currently hinting at the fact that Dr. Manhattan has reshaped the entire DC universe, which is why the entirely shit run of New 52 was annexed and replaced with Rebirth.
He's going to have a showdown with Superman soon.
He is.
Apparently.
Mr. Oz. Did they reveal who Mr. Oz was?
I haven't really been following it, to be honest.
Apparently Mr. Oz is possibly Ozymandias. Ozymandias. Did I say it?
Ozymandias?
Ozymandias, that's the one. I knew I got it wrong. Ozymandias.
You and your poems.
Anyway. I do like that poem, though.
Yeah, not enough to know how to pronounce
Percy
it.
Shelley. Yeah, no, I never learned how to pronounce it. Big old dope. Yeah, so... yeah, and then it got me thinking about which character I enjoyed the most in that particular comic.
Silk Spectre.
And who I think is possibly one... No, Silk Spectre was not. I actually found her to be a bit meh.
Oh.
But
sexist?
I think one of the... Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the absolute best ever actor matching character things ever was the comedian. They got Jeffrey Dean Morgan to be the comedian. I don't think I've ever seen someone suit something so well.
The dad from Supernatural.
Yes, the dad from Supernatural.
The dad from Batman vs. Superman.
Yeah.
The dad from... I think that's it.
That's about... I think he's probably a dad in something else. He's probably popped up before.
I was going to say the dad from My Life Story, but that would be Bruce Willis.
Would it be Bruce Willis?
Bruce Willis would play my dad in a film.
I've met your dad.
Yeah.
Don't know if I'd Both Bruce Willis. Jeffrey Dean Morgan, though. He needs to work. Jeffrey Dean Morgan, for those who don't know and need a greater parallel, is from The Walking Dead. He's Negan.
Oh, he's Negan in The Walking Dead as well.
He's Negan from The Walking Dead.
Spoiler.
Yeah. Oh, is that a spoiler?
No, is he a dad? No, I don't think he is. Never mind.
He tries to be Carl's dad at one point.
Oh, does he?
He tries to kind of sway him to his side of the fence.
We're talking comic book.
I don't know. I'm talking Walking Dead. The series. I don't read the comic.
You know how I feel about the series.
Sorry, I'll take it back.
We don't talk about the series.
Before he was a household name,
yeah,
in many ways, he was a B-list actor for TV.
Yeah,
and he got small recurring roles here and there.
Grey's Anatomy.
But he's clearly friends with Zack Snyder.
I think he is. I think
he's gotten a lot of gigs.
He is to Zack Snyder what Kyle MacLachlan is to David Lynch.
To David Lynch, essential. Essential.
He is to Zack Snyder what Tom Hardy is to Christopher Nolan.
Well played.
He is to... I'm coming up with these on the spot, Ben.
I know, you're doing really well.
He is
the vein in your forehead might go
down. No, I'm in a lot of pain. He is to Zack Snyder what... Oh shit, this is hard. What's the guy with the potato face? Leonardo DiCaprio is to the guy who made the Bear movie.
Alejandro something.
Oh yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Right, I've run out. I ruined it.
Fair enough. But you flogged that horse all the way to the grave. And you sat in the grave with it for a while going, come on, you got some more left in you. But anyway, got me thinking about that. And then I got thinking about Auntie Heroes, because there was another piece of interesting news this week that coincided with all this.
What was that?
Did you see the Punisher?
I did.
Trailer?
Not the film.
The trailer. No, sorry, the trailer. The Punisher trailer for Netflix.
Yes.
Netflix.
I'm the Punisher.
The Punisher.
I know how to talk in Punisher voice.
Fire at will. With pleasure.
Whose will is the traditional response.
Yeah, poor Will. So targeted.
Did you watch it though?
Yeah,
well,
I watched
obviously you did. Why would you bring it up?
I thought it was excellent. I really enjoyed it. I'm going to start right out by saying completely totally different to anything else Netflix Marvel has done.
Yeah, and about time.
I think maybe it's going to go up there with Jessica Jones and Daredevil. That's an early prediction with
Ben's
with
predictions.
No grounding. Yeah, it doesn't usually end well for me. I haven't had that many bad predictions.
You said Inhumans was going to be amazing.
No, I didn't. I distinctly recall, because anything that ABC does when it comes to Marvel, I kind of like meh. Meh.
I like the trailer. I like how it looks like he's been training with John Wick.
Yes, he does that like several times.
The John Wick side gun.
The John Wick side gun. I think they probably took a lot of their cues from that. I'm also a huge John Barenthal fan. I think he's deadly. Yeah, I think he's a good actor.
He was in that show we don't talk about.
Oh yeah, sorry, that show that we don't talk. Played a real dick in that show we don't talk about.
He tends to play real dicks.
Fucking Shane.
Yeah.
But I like the way they've changed his backstory as well. It's not criminals. He's now part of a CIA sting operator, like program shutdown or something like that.
But he tends to be he tends to be military. There's no real version, but in the comics he's military.
Oh, he is.
But the CIA tends to recruit people from the military.
Oh no, I'm not arguing the thing. I just find it interesting that his traditional story is that his family was murdered by the mafia, and now they've changed it to his family was murdered in a kind of wet works operation.
Yeah, something like that.
A personal vendetta from someone high up in the CIA.
Yeah.
Which is kind of interesting. I
suppose the world is becoming less... I have seen all of the other Punisher adaptations.
Cool. With Thomas Jane,
Dolph Lundgren, and Ray Stevenson.
You've seen the Dolph Lundgren one?
Yeah. And in all of them, they're killed by gangsters. But I think the world is becoming less interested in gangsters.
I think gangsters are becoming less in the world.
Do you think so?
No, not entirely, but it's different type of... It's not the traditional kind of wise guy... Italian gangster anymore.
The bad guys in the Dolph Lundgren Punisher are really, oi, we gotta clean up after this guy.
What's the matter over here?
We gotta have a palzone.
We got a Pajan over here messing with my operation.
Coming in and blowing up all our safe houses.
How do you have a partner? Like, how did you jump the gap between where we are right now?
What do you mean?
Like, I'm single for obvious reasons.
Very attractive man.
We just went through this. But the fact that you have made the jump It's fascinating.
You're reinforcing nerd stereotypes.
I don't care.
I'm a very attractive man.
I don't care. But yeah, no. I think it's really interesting. I think they've taken a lot of cues from Mr. Robot as well. In some ways, it's the color correction is very monotone, blue and green. And then the truth must be searched for, I think, is the tagline at the end of the trailer.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. And then they redacted the release date.
Yeah.
They just said 2017 at the end.
It's gonna be. They're gonna drop it by surprise.
Yeah, it's very tonally different. That looks good.
People are speculating it's going to be various dates related to the US military.
Oh, and
like it might
he will have played a role in various...
it might be Veterans Day, it might be the Navy's birthday, and all sorts of stuff like that.
He is quite popular, I think, with veterans.
Massively.
Yeah.
Shall we talk about that for a minute?
Go ahead.
Because I have a bit on that, right?
It's quite interesting.
So, he's hugely popular. Almost to the point of being kind of fetishized.
Oh.
Not fetishized sexually, Ben.
No, but the skull is a huge symbol,
The skull
isn't
is a thing.
It's a big thing.
The Navy SEALs, they use it unofficially. They have an unofficial but not prohibited is their stance on the Punisher skull.
Well, you don't mess with Navy SEALs.
And that's the thing. It's used by killers. Like, a lot of soldiers aren't killers.
Sure.
The vast majority of people who fight in wars... they hold locations, or they man barricades, or they come in after the planes and they stand where the bombs have blown up, and then that territory is claimed, right? But it's the killers, the
search and destroy kind of guys.
Yeah, the guys who go into the houses in Kandahar and kill everyone. They're the ones who use the Punisher logo, and they spray paint the Punisher logo onto houses where they've killed people.
Really?
Yeah. Now, this is weird to me, because I'm not an American.
I'm also not American.
And I'm kind of...
I can be at parties.
Yeah, I'm kind... He does a pretty good American. I'm kind of against killing people, just in general.
I've also often held that belief.
Yeah, it's not my favourite thing, killing people.
Especially people that have nothing to do with stuff.
Well, look, let's not get into the politics of it.
It's too late.
It's kind of, it's very interesting that the Punisher, as you said, he was kind of inspired. He was a villain, really.
Yeah, he was. He was introduced as a villain, sure.
But he has become a symbol, an unironic symbol. They're using this death head skull.
He has we'll include a picture of it in the video, obviously. But if you're unaware of what the Punisher's logo looks like, it is a long, elongated skull with only the top part of the jaw is missing from the bottom, and it's 3 long bars.
It can be 4.
Okay, 4 or 3 or 4.
Or sometimes 5.
Long, or sometimes
just
5.
long bars.
Long bars that go down. And it's always spray painted onto something. There's a really serious nod to it in the trailer. You hear the spray can going as he sharpens the blade.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's all nodding towards that.
But it's weird to me that this kind of comic book character has become used as a symbol in a real life and death situation.
Two major things in terms of Marvel stuff. Like, they either adore Captain America or like the Punisher. So I guess the darker side of the US military,
the people who do the killing,
the wet work squads,
or
the Black Ops guys seem to favour it quite a bit. And it's quite a grim symbol. Like, it's unpleasant.
It's a skull.
Yeah.
It's a
and it
person's
evolved
skull.
way more into that kind of spray painted thing. Originally it was quite ridiculous if you looked at the costume. He used to wear like a spandex suit with big white boots and sorry, just to go into the history of the character a little bit.
Well, hold on, we're not finished.
Keep talking about the fetishization.
No, that's fine.
We're still doing first impressions.
We're still talking about the trailer.
Yeah, so give me your first impressions. I've given you a lot of mine.
I liked it. It looked good.
Get a bit more there, Michael.
Oh, sorry. That sounds like a bad interview on TV.
Yeah,
it's good. It's real good.
How do you feel about the part you took?
Yeah, it's fine. So he's real. I like it. As I said, I watched all the others. The Dolph Lundgren one. Have you seen it?
No.
Are we going into this too early? Look, we'll do it.
Screw it.
The Dolph Lundgren one, 1989.
Yes.
Really, 1989.
Oh yeah.
He's basically not a character. He's like a Terminator, basically.
Okay. Which is really all you could give. He's still blonde, isn't he?
No, this is the best thing.
Oh, really?
They've dyed his hair black.
Excellent.
But Ben, as both you and I will attest, lightly coloured people can't grow dark stubbly beards like the Punisher. So they've painted it on. His stubble is painted on. It's one of the best things I have ever seen in my entire life. It's spectacular. But anyway,
it sounds spectacular.
It was the 1989 Punisher was like, it was back when the best way to make a comic book movie was to pretend it wasn't a comic book movie.
Oh yeah, okay, slip it in under the radar, so to speak.
So it's just like a vigilante movie.
This summer, one man, not a superhero, will take on organized crime, not saving citizens, in a city that is definitely real and not based in a comic.
I think it's set in New York. There's lots of paisanos.
We'll take on Italians in a non-racially motivated attack.
No! It's full of racism. It's one of you just reminded me. It is the most racist film I've watched in the last 10 years. The bad guys are Italians. And then the bad guys, the bad guys who come in to replace the bad guys are Japanese.
Oh, for God's sake.
And it's samurai swords and ninja outfits and the word yips. It's just
the word wop make an appearance?
No, there's no wop, but there's quite a few yips. He has a, and then bizarrely though, despite the racism, he has every Punisher, every other version of Punisher has a. This is the most rambling podcast we've ever done.
Well, we're trying to figure out how to navigate. He's an unusual character, to be fair. He'll take up a lot of time.
Every other version of Punisher, the adaptation of Punisher, has had like a Punisher task force. There's some cop,
the cop
who is responsible for stopping him, and
stopping Frank Castle.
In the 1989 one, he's played by Louis Gossett Jr., who's black. He's a famous character actor.
Oh,
you'd recognise him. Oh. But his name is Berkowitz.
Oh. That's really distancing yourself from the comic book, I guess.
I know, but I mean, isn't it weird that it's so racist, and yet the colourblind casting of a Polish detective is a bit. It just caught me off guard.
Yeah, it doesn't really match up.
I don't think I've never met a southern black person called Berkovich.
Is that when they did the 90s thing? It was like, how can we make this character interesting? Just put your hand inside the writer's sack. So we have our nationality sack, we have our colour sack,
Polish,
and we have our grew up in sack. And they took it out that day and they were like, oh, look, we can't argue with the sacks.
He's alcoholic. He's a former alcoholic as well.
He's a former alcoholic.
There's a great scene.
His wife left him, but she still loves him, but he'll never soften to let her in him.
Well, replace wife with partner. And you pretty much.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Sorry, I forgot what we were talking
about. It's 1989, right? And they're trying to track down where the Punisher is, and his new partner, who's a lady.
Oh, of course,
and a policewoman,
because women can't be police officers. She has to prove herself.
Exactly, and she's setting up an algorithm to find the Punisher, right? And he comes over. Louis Gossett Jr., Berkovich, comes over and he hovers over her shoulder, and he says, and this is a direct quote. What do you think you're going to do with that? Play Miss Pac-Man? And then she explains her plan, and he said, "Oh, wow." As condescending as I just did. He's such a dick. And then, of course, it finds him, and the Punisher lives in the sewers.
Of course.
And he rides around the sewers on his motorbike.
Of course.
And he's naked a lot. He does a lot of he does a lot of naked meditation.
Oh, okay. That was so Dolph Lundgren can get those shots in, I guess.
It's mostly his ass, his naked ass. And
it's a high ass.
And he doesn't have the skull.
What?
No skull.
Bullshit.
I know.
Bullshit.
I know, I'm telling you.
That's a load of bollocks.
It's barely Punisher.
That's a load of bollocks.
No skull.
That's not cool.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, the best way to get a comic book film made, pretend it's not a comic book film.
Yeah, but that's ridiculous. That's going too far.
I know.
You need the logo synonymous with him. Like, Anyway, I saw the Thomas Jane one. I like Thomas Jane as the Punisher.
Did you see the 2012 unofficial short Dirty Laundry?
Yes, I was going to talk about that. I really like that.
I think
so. Again, I guess it's a thing of. It's almost like an epilogue to the Punisher movie that he did, where he like tries to give it up or something.
Yeah.
And so it's Thomas Jane, who was the actor who played him in the 2004 version. And I don't think he was ready to let it go. I think he quite liked being the Punisher. Yeah. So he went and made this independent short. You can find it on YouTube.
Adi Shankar.
Okay. Thank you.
He does... we should recommend him for people who enjoy this podcast, because his whole thing is making kind of short films of versions of things that will never get made. He made a Power Rangers fan film. He made. Did
he make the Dawson's Creek Power Rangers fan film?
The real violent one.
No way. That's probably how Saban's Power Rangers got made and then got butchered by a studio again.
I think it had an effect for sure.
It tested the waters.
He has a podcast
in
which he gets directors to pitch a version of an adaptation that they'd love to make, but they don't think they'd ever be allowed to.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I have to check that out. I'm going to check that out after this.
We'll put a link.
But yeah, Dirty Laundry is really cool. It just centers on an unnamed man who is doing his laundry.
And he looks a bit like Thomas Jane, but if his face was a towel. He's just really old.
Yeah, he's a lot older than the original.
And kind of jowly.
Yeah, older than the original thing. So he's gone about his laundry, and then he sees, I think it's an old guy being harassed by some...
Oh, no, I watched it.
By some thugs.
I watched it today. The thugs are the evilest people you could...
Yeah, they're just kicking the crap out of an old guy, aren't they?
No, they rape a woman.
Oh, Jesus.
And they kick the crap out of a kid.
Fucking rape.
And I know. And
keeps coming up.
And they ransack his van. Like in the space of 5 minutes. This bunch of guys just pull up and rape a woman, beat up a kid, and ransack a van.
But he only starts moving when they ransack the van.
Yeah. No,
then he's like...
He has a chat with the old man.
Oh.
The old man is played by Ron Perlman.
No way.
You need to watch this again.
I need to watch this again.
Brilliant.
I should have watched it again before doing this. But anyway, he comes out, opens a can of whoop ass.
Oh, he kills the shit out of them.
Kills the shit out of them. And then goes back to his van, and you see him throw in at the end. What does he throw in? It's the t-shirt, isn't it?
No, he gives the t-shirt to the kid.
He gives the t-shirt to the kid. What's it got in it?
A hole. He says, I don't need it anymore. It's got a hole in it.
But it's also the Punisher t-shirt with the skull on it.
Yeah.
So it's a whole thing. And I think Thomas Jane is just like, I should have been allowed to make another movie. Because I think a big controversy was that it wasn't... Was the original one not R-rated? Was it 15s?
Say original.
The Thomas Jane... The 2004 one. Was it R-rated?
No.
It was 15s, I think, wasn't it? And that was a big issue.
Well, you're mixing your rating systems.
Okay, help me out then.
Do you want to use the American rating system or the European rating system?
Well, what was it in European?
I think it was 15s here.
Yeah.
Which would be R in America because they don't have a... Yeah, that would be R.
Okay, I didn't know that at all.
18 would be X.
Okay, I didn't know that. They wanted that rating though. They wanted the higher rating in the States, I think. I'm not sure they got it.
But they wrote a sequel. They wrote a sequel. Starring Thomas Jane again.
John Travolta again?
No, because he's dead. Damn. Spoilers.
Thought they'd bring him back. It's 2004. Statute of limitations on spoilers is out.
The 2004 one's pretty good.
Yeah, it is pretty good.
There's much more. He's a character again.
Yeah.
Oh,
is Dominic Cooper in that one?
No, he's in the 2008 one.
God, it's hard to keep up.
The 2004 one, the start is spectacular. Have you seen? How recently have you seen it?
Not recent enough.
He's involved in a sting.
Oh, I have seen that.
He's involved in a sting, and his outfit for the sting is Aldrich Killian from Iron Man 3. Hold on. I'm gonna have to see this. I'm gonna have to get you a picture.
I'm gonna have to see this. I'm gonna keep talking to keep people interested.
Yeah. Sting, Punisher, Punisher 2004.
Aldrich Killian.
Yeah. What was his name? He plays a South African, but that's the thing. He works with the FBI in this. And he's an undercover operative. There's Dolph Lundgren's painted on face.
Wow, that's
spectacular.
He looks like a heroin junkie in that particular picture.
It's really bad.
That's bad.
Look, I'm not going to be able to find this scene just on Google.
Damn it!
But I'll show you later. We'll stick it in the video.
But yeah, we'll stick it in the video.
So
as I get to see what it is.
Yeah, there's much more dedicated to his family being killed in the Dolph Lundgren
trauma
one.
kind of.
It's horrible. It's a nasty scene.
Yeah. Oh no, there's no holds barred in the 2004 version. You're just like,
there are some holds barred. We're going to get into filming action scenes for some reason here. This is one of our rambliest podcasts.
Yeah, we're very rambling today.
in the action scenes in 2004 ones, you never see impacts. Someone fires a gun.
Yeah.
It cuts to the face of the person firing the gun, and then cut back to the other person dead.
Oh.
Or even when he breaks someone's arm, he grabs their arm, twists it. It cuts to his face. You see him grunting.
Yeah.
You hear a snap,
to do the action,
and then it goes back. So it's
okay. So
really
it won't show
low
the direct
impact.
consequence of the violence. Okay.
There's lots of violence, and it's not bloodless violence, but you never see the moment of impact in the violence.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's a Hollywood thing.
Netflix does that much better.
The Punisher fight scene in the Netflix was much more violent.
It's unreal.
Much more violent.
That was their corridor scene.
Yeah. Do you think that the Punisher TV show will be a kind of antidote to the Defenders?
I think they need a big tonal shift. I watched a really interesting video essay from Patrick H. Williams. I don't know if you watch any of his stuff.
No.
Looks at a lot of superhero adaptations and how to fix them and things like that. It's kind of what he's interested in. And his latest one is, why is the hand so boring? But like he goes into it and he looks at it in the comics and how you could treat it better. Do you know what I mean? Like based on the comics that all comes from the Frank Miller.
That sounds like my sort of thing.
Oh, it is. We'll link it below again.
The answer is Bakudo, by the way.
Not Bakudo or more Bakudo?
Not Bakudo.
Not Bakudo.
Get rid of Bakudo.
Yes.
Get rid of Bakudo's teenagers.
That's very much...
Alexandria was a bit of a waste of time.
He looks at them more as a board of directors. They're not the hand, they're a board of directors.
Yeah.
For some reason.
A board of evil directors.
Of evil directors. Is there any other kind?
Got him.
Zing. So moving on from there. I think it'll be good. I think they need it. I think they need... First of all, the gritty tone of Jessica Jones works.
Yeah.
I think what's missing in Luke Cage and what's missing in Iron Fist is, and this is based on the video essay, he points it out really clearly, is it's a poorly defined adversary relationship. Do you know what I mean? Like Luke Cage is just taking on Harlem.
Yeah.
And Iron Fist is just taking on the Hand. There's nothing personal about that conflict. And I think what makes it more interesting with Daredevil and with Jessica Jones, like Jessica Jones, her vendetta is intensely personal.
Yeah, it's
like
that one dickhead over there.
It's one guy, history of intense sexual abuse.
Did he sexually abuse her?
And
I always forget about that.
No, he does, yeah. No,
does he?
There's a lot. Like,
doesn't he in the comic?
He makes her sleep with him.
Does he?
Yeah.
I can't remember. He doesn't in the comic. He very specifically doesn't.
Oh.
He makes her fall in love with him and then makes her watch other women sleep with him, so that hurts her more.
I'm not sure. I think it was hinted at a lot more that he slept with her.
Maybe he did. I just can't remember. I'm not saying that.
And then Daredevil has the Kingpin.
Yeah, he's a real dickhead.
He hates the Kingpin. But the two of them hate each other, and there's this isn't mentioned in the essay, but it's incredibly personal. Like, there's a very intimate connection between adversary and adversary in those two. And I think that's what sets them apart. They're also a lot grittier. They spiced Daredevil up in the second season that he got, and it was a little bit lighter. But the first one and Jessica Jones are very gritty. Like Jessica Jones is so coldly shot; it's all clinical. And
isn't it interesting that 3 of the probably 5 best Marvel villains come from Netflix?
Okay, so we have Kingpin, obviously.
Yeah. Purple Man
is awesome.
Yeah. Punisher.
Well, he's not a villain.
He is.
He's an anti-hero.
Yay! No, but I mean, he was the best villain in season 2 of Daredevil.
Oh, absolutely. He's the most interesting thing about it.
Yeah.
The most interesting thing about it by a mile.
The other 2 are Loki and Ego.
Ego's pretty good.
You don't like Loki? You see, you're just... Because Loki's so popular. Loki's overplayed, but Loki was great in Avengers. Yeah, you're
I'm a contrarian.
You don't like Avengers.
And I don't like Avengers. I like.
Here's the thing, though, right?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Traditionally, comic book wise, Punisher, he kind of fights superheroes.
He does. He takes them on a lot. So can I do the comic?
Go on.
Yay! He was introduced.
Oh, we're doing a thing. Okay.
He was introduced in the 70s.
Oh. Like disco hair.
Disco hair.
Rollerblades.
Disco hair. He was introduced at that time.
John Travolta.
He's very John Travolta-esque, actually, when you look at him in the...
What else is from the 70s?
In the thing.
What else is from the 70s? Cocaine.
Cocaine's from every time.
Oh, is it?
We've had cocaine for a while. Thank God. I'll never get through the podcast without it. He was introduced as a foe for Spider-Man. The Jackal, who had an axe to grind with Spider-Man, hired him, or put him on the... Okay, Mick is now pointing a gun at me. That's going to annoy...
No, sorry, listeners.
That was right next to the thing.
Sorry,
he has a giant toy gun that he was using for that bit.
I'm the Punisher.
And that makes me Spider-Man. I'm okay with that. The Jackal... Please don't squeeze that trigger again.
I'm not going to.
The Jackal...
I'm going to keep pointing it at you.
The Jackal put him on the trail of Spider-Man and made out that Spider-Man was a villain.
Oh.
And he needed to be taken down.
Oh.
And Frank Castle, who has a mad on for taking out the bad guys.
Francis Caglione?
I think Castiglione, I think
like that?
is how it's said. But it later becomes Frank Castle. Mm-hmm. But at the time it was Francis Castiglione.
Hey, Francis!
Francis, you're killing me over here. Just go to the deli, work with your mother, make her happy. You don't have to go out every night of the week dressed in spandex. You don't have to do that, Frankie. You don't have to do that. Your mother loves you. Your father's worried sick. Just take care of it.
You're veering into Wahlberg. Just a little
I'm Marky.
I watched Transformers yesterday.
Oh no.
I'm not.
Awful. No, I refuse. We're staying on topic. There was a whole kerfuffle. Spider-Man manages to
take him down,
and he clears it all up. And Frank Castle has a very melodramatic moment where he goes, "Oh, Jackal!" And he has a huge moment. Quite interesting. His original costume is quite superhero-y. It's form-fitting, and the skull is a big skull on his chest, and the thing is made up by 3 cylinders that he wears in his belt. He carries ammunition.
Is it?
And that's where it came from. It was later adapted into an elongated skull, which is where the famous one comes from. But originally he would go around and there would always be the same mix-up. He thinks that a hero is a villain. In the end, Frank, it's not. It's a normal good doer, do-gooder. And it was a whole thing. And then much later, he became the Punisher in the really extreme kind of 90s way. He was brought on to headline Marvel Max or Marvel Knights, the Marvel Knights series. Elektra, Punisher, Daredevil, and then
Black Widow.
It could have been Black Widow. Marvel Knights, that was kind of a reboot from the early 2000s again. And he was big in the 90s as well. He was part of the War Journal. Jim Lee illustrated him.
Lots of pouches.
Lots of pouches. Stacks of pouches.
Comically oversized guns.
Yeah, he used to carry cannons around. Like, he was a bit ridiculous. He was quite big in the 90s. He has a series Bandana. Yeah, he always had an L bandana. I have an issue in my thing called the African Saga. Punisher War Journal, African Saga.
Is that the one where he does blackface to infiltrate a gang?
No.
That does exist.
Oh, no.
That does exist.
No.
He teams up with Luke Cage and does blackface to infiltrate a gang. Thing. It's amazing.
That's actually Luke Cage and Iron Fist fan fiction.
No, it's true. That's not a joke.
I believe you.
Yeah, it's real.
I believe you.
Sorry,
that upsets me a lot.
He wears a bandana and he does all this stuff.
Oh God. And then he became. He played a huge part in Civil War, but this is where the character kind of started to veer away. What he did was he would drive around and he would take fallen equipment from superheroes and he would work it into his wardrobe.
Oh, that's how he got Dr. Octopus's tentacle.
Exactly. So he would drive around, like, fight locations, and he would find equipment, and then he would have his trusty sidekick, I want to say hardware. Microchip, that's it. God damn it, 90s. There were only so many 90s words you could use. Microchip would adapt it for him, and I think that's Microchip in the trailer.
Yeah.
He said, let me work with me.
Yeah, and he said, I'm only going to work with you if we can kill them all.
That's fine with me. That's fine with me. Yeah. So there's a whole thing like that. By the way, One by Metallica. Very big fan of that.
Good choice.
That was also that really quick snap image where it's him teaching guitar to his son.
No.
Him playing it alone. The blue light. I was like,
I hate that.
yes. I loved it. It was sentimental.
You know, the bit where
it was hacky. It was great.
So it turns out that before he became the Punisher, Frank Castle was the kind of guy who went to parties with a guitar. I'm glad his family got killed.
Bit of an overreaction. John Belushi would agree with you. But,
fully deserves
That's
it.
a very obscure joke. Check out John Belushi guitar on YouTube. And
That's not obscure. That's one of the most popular movie scenes of all time.
That's to our younger listeners.
Younger people, I hate them.
We really picked the wrong co-host.
Yeah, look, I would watch. Is it going to be 13 episodes, right? It's going to be 13, isn't it?
I think it's going to be 13. It should be 8. It could be done much better in 8.
Although The Defenders wasn't great with 8.
Defenders wasn't great.
It just wasn't great, was it? It was just okay.
It's hard to say that though. I had a lot going on. I just wish they'd... See, the thing is, they became so obsessed with getting the Defenders off the ground. I think it really started to affect the quality of those series that they were put out.
You think so?
I think Daredevil was a test the water kind of gig, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Where it was like, maybe this will work.
And it was great.
They put that out there, and then Jessica Jones came along and was like, oh my god, it keeps working.
Yeah,
it keeps working. It's
Jessica
like, okay,
amazing.
greenlight everything else. Iron Fist, go! Luke Cage, go! And then they just kept dropping hits to Defenders.
You see, people love Luke Cage.
And
You don't.
No. I don't love Luke Cage, the shitty Netflix series.
Yeah, no, people love that series. People love it. Although, you know which one was the highest rated of them all? The highest viewing?
I don't.
The highest Iron Fist.
Don't hurt me.
So
I think that had more marketing than any of the others, though, didn't it?
yeah,
like
I
that
think
was.
so.
That was
Also,
really
it had the others behind it.
Yeah, they popped in now and then.
Yeah. No, I mean, it had the.
Oh yeah, it had a good track record.
Yeah. Like Ant-Man beat Iron Man 1 at the box office, I think, but that never would have happened. Ant-Man's a fine film.
Ant-Man's a film.
A film about a man. I would watch a full 13 episode series of John Barenthal killing people John Wick style.
Yeah.
To Metallica songs.
Sold.
There.
I'd watch that from start to finish.
And then for 5 minutes every episode he talks to Deborah Ann Wall.
She's
Karen
back.
Page,
yeah, she's back in it.
And then he talks to her about who
she's
killed.
She's going to be very central in the series. She's doing very well out of Netflix.
Is she?
I think so. She's making a lot of paychecks.
I don't know. How much does Netflix pay?
Quite a bit.
Oh, good.
They've got more money than most networks.
Good.
Because of the subscription.
Yeah, look.
This is how they can do this kind of thing.
I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be good.
Yeah, it's going to be deadly.
Speaking of Auntie Heroes.
Because we haven't got much time left.
Did you see the trailer for Red Sparrow?
No.
Oh, you didn't?
Well, I can't remember it. I saw it. I only ever watched them once. You watched them multiple times.
It's Jennifer Lawrence.
Lawrence.
And Jennifer Lawrence plays a former Russian ballerina who... Stay with me.
Wait a minute.
Stay with me. She plays a former Russian ballerina who, finding herself unemployed, goes to a training school for girls called the Sparrow School.
Wait a minute.
Stay with me. Not the Red Room. The Sparrow.
The Black Room?
The Black Room. The Red Room is Twin Peaks. Not the...
No, it's called the Red Room. You're right.
Oh, is it?
No, you're completely right.
So she goes to a training school.
I was just saying, is that the one that Jennifer Lawrence goes to? She goes to the Black Room.
No, she goes to the Sparrow School. And in the Sparrow School, young, gifted, nimble female Russians learn spycraft, including seduction and spycraft in general.
No, Mick, I see what you've done here. You've mixed it up.
Yeah.
You're thinking of Captain America Civil War, and it's not Jennifer Lawrence. And I understand why you mixed them because they're very interchangeable in that regard. It's not Jennifer Lawrence, it's Scarlett Johansson, and it's not Red Sparrow. That's cute that you mixed up the animal and colour combination.
Yeah.
It's Black Widow.
Yeah.
She's very established.
Yeah.
They're two. It's a different thing. It's nice that you got confused though.
It's Age of Ultron though that you're thinking, not Civil War.
Is it Age of Ultron that they do the Red Room stuff in? But anyway, you understand. I'm glad you caught up with me and you understand the mix up now.
Isn't it amazing though?
That's fucking bullshit.
She even has... Now, to be fair to Red Sparrow, It's based on an existing property. It's a book.
Oh,
It's a book that exists.
Okay.
I have never read the book,
Nor have I.
so I don't know how much this anti-hero woman, I don't know how much the book version resembles Black Widow.
She's quite heavily anti-hero, isn't she? She's just...
Well, I've only got
She
the
does
trailer
good
to go on.
through murder.
I've only got the trailer
Yeah,
to go on,
exactly.
so
Neither of us have read the book.
Neither
Neither
of
of
us
us
have read the
will.
No, because it doesn't matter. Because whether or not the book is so closely Black Widow-y, they've definitely gone ahead and said, Marvel seem to lack the impetus to make a Black Widow movie.
Let's capitalise
Let's
on
do
that.
it.
And
Now,
slip into that niche.
do you remember the trailer for the Liam Neeson movie Forgotten or Unforgotten?
Unforgiven?
No. That's Clint Eastwood.
I think I know the one you're talking about, but like...
It was the trailer where he was a former spy and he loses memories in Berlin.
Yes.
But that trailer made that look like it was going to be Taken 2.
Yes.
And it was nothing like Taken.
Yes.
The Suicide Squad trailer made it look like it was going to be Guardians of the Galaxy but on Earth.
Which would have been great.
Which would have been amazing. And then it was nothing like that. So what I'm saying is you can cut a trailer...
To look any way you choose.
Yeah, well, not anyway, but yeah, that's what I'm basically saying. But
Give it any tone you choose.
Someone could have cut this to look like a Black Widow movie. But, I mean, just watch the trailer again.
Well, they've been playing with that for a while now. They're really all going back to this 80s Cold War vibe with strong female characters. Atomic Blonde just came out with Charlize Theron.
I didn't see that.
I haven't seen it either, but I saw the trailer. I quite liked the trailer.
Are you saying that could have been a Black Widow film as well?
No, not at all. But it seems to be in the water. Do you know what I mean? It's all in Atomic Blonde. It's East Berlin, and it's just kind of interesting that theme seems to be going around for the Cold War era, strong female spy character. So it wouldn't surprise me. I'm really surprised at Marvel. Why have they not given that a movie yet?
There's a reason. There's definitely a reason that we don't know. There's some sort of back behind.
Did Scarlet piss everybody off? Like, what's the
maybe
deal?
Maybe there's behind the scenes dealings, but
there's so much money to be made off that. Like,
well, we'll see, won't we? We'll see how Red Sparrow does. I'd say Red Sparrow will be a $150 million movie. It'll make $150 million worldwide.
Okay.
Probably.
You really care about the figures that they make at the box office.
Well, yeah, but I care about the figures that they make at the box office. Because those figures determine what gets made.
Absolutely. It's a good balance.
That determines what gets made, Ben.
Quality has nothing to do with it. Sorry. I know, absolutely. But it's a good balance because I like stories and you like figures. So it works out quite well, including those made of plastic.
Yeah, so it'll I don't know the budget. I'd say 30 million, 25 to 30 million.
Yeah, sure.
I'd say it'll make 150 million.
Okay. That's a decent.
Yeah, but you see, do you want
figure. That's about what J-Law pulls in, isn't it?
I don't know.
Is that not her?
But I'm saying, do you want that type of film in your massive tentpole superhero franchise?
It's too late. She's kind of been lost in phase. What are we now? Phase
3?
2? Are we in phase 3?
Aren't we?
She's kind of been left behind now, hasn't she? Like she's phase 1. Like all the phase 1 guys got their origin back in the day.
She doesn't need an origin story, that's for sure.
I think she does. I think it'd be interesting to look at all. I think what should really be done with Black Widow, if you're going to do Black Widow in any way properly, is focus on her early years outside of Nick Fury and S.H.I.E.L.D. and all that.
You see, I wouldn't do that.
Well, we're so heavily established in that world now, you couldn't possibly give her...
I think going back that far is a mistake for her. What I would do... This is a weird podcast.
Yeah.
What I would do is bring in Yelena something or other, the other Black Widow. She's the blonde Black Widow.
Yes.
Bring her in, then tell her origin story.
Oh. And
have her be the villain of a Black Widow movie.
That would be very interesting.
Played by J-Lo.
J-Lo?
No, not J-Lo. J-Law. Jennifer Lawrence.
Okay. I was like...
Oh, J-Lo.
J-Lo
would be pretty interesting.
Not very Russian, though. She's quite tan.
I'm going to get up all your business and whatnot.
Yeah, motherfucker. Yeah. Gotta have a J. No, that was Janet Jackson.
That's not great.
Gotta have a J.
What else are we talking about before we go?
No, I think we're out of time.
Was there any other trailers or stuff? Red Sparrow, Punisher. Saw Transformers. That was pretty shit.
Was Transformers pretty shit?
Oh, it was
You got 2 minutes of content.
fucking shocking. I mean, Marky Mark.
Marky Mark.
It's almost impossible to listen to the guy.
Is that a Transformer or a bodyguard? What is this?
What? This little dinosaur Transformer. What's he doing, man? What am I doing? I don't know. It's not Marky Mark anymore.
You went Compton.
Fucking shit.
In the middle.
It is one of the worst films I've ever seen.
Marky Mark. Getting a pump on.
It's terrible.
Listen, Bumblebee. Listen to me. I don't want to arm wrestle you, Bumblebee, but if I have to, I'll win. And then you're going to cry, Bumblebee, and I'm going to feel terrible. I'm not a terrible guy, Bumblebee. You're making me terrible.
He actually has an even more kind of breathy feminineness to it.
I can't go
in
that far.
The movie.
I won't lean in.
It's weird. Anyway, what other anti-heroes are there before we go?
Look, there's comic, the 90s. Dear God, the 90s. Littered with them. But since we talked about Italian stereotypes and pure racism, the 90s saw Top Cow Productions bring out The Darkness, or Jackie Estacado, who was a hitman for the mob.
Of course he was.
But on his 21st birthday, he inherited an age-old gift called the Darkness, which is just a giant bunch of cartoon characters that rip people apart. I guess if you're looking for a superpower. And at night, he becomes the Darkness, and the Darkness does his bidding. And then he falls out with the mob, and there's a whole to and fro, and he loses the love of his life, Jenny. They grew up in an orphanage together.
You're
right
thinking
before
of
he
Forrest
was
Gump.
adopted. No, I'm not. Right before he was adopted by his Uncle Paulie. Uncle Paulie, not kidding. Uncle Paulie adopted him because he was told that this kid would be good at killing people, so he trained to kill people real good. And off he went and killed people. On his 21st birthday, he turned into the Darkness. And the Darkness was the greatest excuse to just wreak havoc in the pages of a comic book. And it was Top Cow Productions, not Image Comics, but it now belongs to Image Comics.
Ah, did Image absorb Top Cow?
Yes.
Top Cow also did Witchblade.
Yes, Witchblade is like his counterbalance. She's Sarah Pezzanelli, who again
Why is everyone
is
Italian?
an Italian American.
Well, an
Because it's all in
Italian
New York.
universe.
It's all in New York.
Okay.
And she's a cop on the beat, Detective Sarah Pezzanelli. And she inherits another age-old thing used for good. It's the Witchblade.
It makes her naked.
The Witchblade. It makes you naked. She can be dressed in full tactical gear, but when the Witchblade activates, you can see just about everything.
She's naked.
Except for a few carefully placed. The two powers are kind of interesting. Jackie Estacado eventually kind of does good things, but he's really just an anti-hero. He really just kills indiscriminately, and it's an excuse for 15-year-old guys to go, oh, it's so cool.
Venom
Venom is the same. Venom has gone through the ringer in terms of hero, anti-hero things. He started out very much as a hero because he bonds to Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. Then he becomes the villain because he wants to go back to Spider-Man. But then in the 80s, he was rebooted as he has a really twisted moral compass.
Well, isn't an anti-hero in the comic book world basically a villain who becomes popular enough to get their own series?
Yeah, and then they kind of align him a little bit more to the thing. I mentioned to you earlier, The Tick. The Tick has the Amazon series has a really good parody of a 90s anti-hero called Overkill. And anytime Overkill appears on the scene, he just decimates everyone in the worst way possible. Like, he cuts their heads off and stuff, but he'll actually forego using a gun to do it quickly in favor of like stabbing them and ripping them apart and stuff.
Wow.
It's he's hilarious because he's really dark, like he's a former Black Ops spy and he wears a skull mask, and it's really over the top, and then the Tick is used to be a really strong juxtaposition. He comes in and he's like, I don't agree with this, and it's like ridiculous, and then Overkill tries to do the same thing
Is it
with
bloody
him.
and violent on Amazon?
There's one scene where he goes to town
I'm gonna
on a
watch
bunch of bad guys. It's only 8 episodes. It's really good.
Tight 8?
Yeah, tight 8. And it's a solid tight 8. It's interesting.
Good.
And it's funny and it's poignant. It's good. I watched it the other day.
Shall we wrap it up?
Yeah. So, anti-heroes. Do you remember any other gripping anti-heroes like Grifter, Midnighter, anything like that?
Carnage. Oh,
God. Who is your favourite teenage boy respond to thing? That was very convoluted. Yeah. When you were 15 years old, which hero did you enjoy for their bloody antics? Because that's all an anti-hero is, really. X-Force. Oh, God. Anyway, let us know in the comments below.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think of the Punisher. Do you think it's an interesting character? Do you think he's just an excuse to kill a load of people?
Yeah. Don't let us know what you think about the American military
Or
using
Kandahar.
Punisher. Yeah,
I want to know.
Don't know
I
about
don't want to know. Sorry, guys, we're not interested. Bye.
Bye.